Greetings, hey, Dr. Brandon Nielsen here, and one of the most important things in pickleball is actually your footwear. And nobody really reviews footwear. They review paddles, but they don't really talk about the footwear. I believe, as a doctor of chiropractic, also a naturopathic doctor, I've worked on so many feet over the years, and if your feet, if you don't have good support and good shoes, especially if you want to play at a high level. If you're just doing recreation, no big deal. But I'm constantly looking for good shoes. I've gone through the first pair of shoes. I kind of had a little bit, and I kind of turned them into pickleball. But I had Adidas, and then from Adidas I believe I went to Asics. From Asics I got a pair of Skechers, and then another pair of Skechers, and I'll show you guys those, and I'll kind of review them all together. And then I liked the Asics so well, they just took a long time to break in. I've got a couple more pairs of Asics, and recently I wanted to try a pair of the New Balance Pickleball Shoe. And again, it is so important with all those bones in your feet. People don't even realize the amount of joints that are in the feet and the things that can go wrong with feet. There's whole companies devoted to just like inserts and having feet that actually work for you, because it affects your back, it affects the way you walk, all these different things. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to be trying out the New Balance. I'll do a review kind of on this. It is the FuelCell 996 B6. So let's just take it out of the box, see what we have. Alright, so I don't know, I can't remember which color. I think these are the navy with the blue, or I don't know, they look the same to me. But anyways, a phenomenal shoe. As far as torsion, very stiff. Let's just start from the bottom, work our way up. Let me just take this little insert out. Okay, first of all, and I doubt, because I'm looking down, I don't think this little red thing has anything to do with a torsion stabilizer, kind of like the old Adidas, but I think it's just more for looks. The chicken foot, it's the trifecta right there. First of all, though, the sole, phenomenal sole. I mean, just right off the bat, it is one of the hardest soles I've ever felt on a pickleball shoe. All right, absolutely phenomenal. The Skechers have a Goodyear kind of teamed up with them. They put their name on it, but I'm going to say this sole is even harder. I'm not running any tests, but as just far as feeling it, it is quite stiff. It's not too stiff this way. You can still bend it, but it is quite a stiff sole, all right? Which means it's going to last a long time. It should, all right? So first off, I give a 5-star to the sole, absolutely, all right? Phenomenal sole. The next thing, working our way up from bottom to top, you have FuelCell, which is a padded, and it has nice padding. It's not super padded on the inside, but better than some. It actually has some nice padding. It's not as nice as, like, let's say the Skechers inserts. The Skechers inserts are phenomenal. They did, I think 20,000 impressions of feet. They have a phenomenal insert, okay? So that's the next thing, would be the next layer up. If we go up to the next layer, let's talk about the next layer. So then we go to the just the mesh, and I like what they've done with the mesh. They've kind of doubled up the mesh layering, except in areas where you need a little extra venting. You maybe can see how it's a little bit darker there, which I really like, because that's going to give you more breathability, all right? Then, of course, they have the toe guard, which is awesome to give support. It's kind of how my first Adidas were, but this is awesome. It gives great support, blocks, and it will help with scuffing. It's not going to help a ton if you drag your foot. One other thing I forgot to mention about the sole is I like how it's rounded, and it's not a hard like edge, like a squared off edge. It actually has a rounded edge. Okay, you can see that. Okay, rounded edge. It's not squared off. so it's not completely, this has more of an abrupt edge, but it's not too abrupt on the lateral part of the outside of the foot, okay? They have great support right here. They brought this up, especially for hard stops when you're playing singles. So let's see the next. So we've done the mesh, the toe guard. Now let's go to the lacing. This is where I'm going to give them an above average, beyond average, okay? This is phenomenal. Okay, so if you look, they have their laces close together. They go 1 hole there, 2 holes there, 3 holes there, and then they go to this little, you see this? Now, whether they know this or not, and I'm sure they do because they're mainly a running company, a running shoe company, but this is absolutely phenomenal because you have a bone on your foot called the navicular bone. The navicular bone in a lot of people actually sticks up. It's that bone that kind of sticks up on the top of your foot. Well, when you have it too tight on your navicular, it will start to shut off the blood supply to certain areas of your foot. So what's so cool about this is you can actually, I'll show you, but you can basically bypass this area. Give me just 1 second, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you actually what I mean. I'll do it, I can do it on the other shoe. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, so if you look on this other shoe, look how I bypassed this. See, compared to this? So look, on the right shoe, and my right navicular actually sticks up quite a bit higher. So look at the difference. See how I skipped that lace? So you have a lace right here, and they've made it so you can actually skip that, okay? Right there. Look at that. That is phenomenal engineering because it allows you then to bypass these laces, come up here, and then start lacing again. That is absolutely phenomenal. Like, nobody does that. Congratulations to New Balance. That is amazing. Where I first learned this is I was at a conference and I think it's Dr. Mladenoff, talked about the Canadian ice hockey skaters. They were causing, what was happening is their foot was kind of going to sleep. What they figured out, it was the navicular bone right there on the top, was the laces were shutting it off. So they skip a couple of laces, just like this, but this is actually built in so you don't have to do it kind of funky. It's so nice. So congratulations to New Balance. Then the next thing is the tongue. Now, compared to the Asics has 2 loops on their tongues to hold the tongue so it doesn't slide over, because it's very common for a tongue to slide over to the side. Now, I haven't worn these enough, but I'm thinking, and again, I think what they're doing here is they've added extra padding. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if, let me take this off and see if we can loosen this up. But I want you to see the tongue, how it has extra padding. Can you see that? I'll show it from the back side. They've actually sewn it in and given you extra padding. And I believe what they're trying to do is keep it from shifting or sliding, okay? So again, I'm gonna give that some nice props. They also do have this little tab up here that you can lace through. You can put your laces through so your tongue doesn't slip. Asics, I like a lot better because, I mean, until I wear these, I'll find out. Asics are phenomenal though because they have that double loop, which allows, so it doesn't allow the tongue to slip down. Skechers have done a very poor job on that. They just have a loop down here. Nothing special about their tongue. Their tongue constantly flaps over to the lateral side or to the outside of the foot. Very poorly done on that. So as far as this top of the shoe, New Balance, wow, impressive. All right. Let's go inside the shoe. The tongue is still great on the inside. It's got great support here for the heel. And then if you look, you can't see this that well, but they've actually got a little bit of an arch support. So you have Skechers who are phenomenal, but then these guys, what's interesting is they have just a little bit kind of an arch support. It almost comes up on the, maybe it's just kind of fitted. It's not huge, but it felt a little bit more comfortable than, for example, like the Asics, okay, which is almost flat, or like even like the basic British, not British Knights. What are those? Swiss British Knights was another company. I'm trying to think of the other. K-Swiss. Okay? So because of the way they've sewn this, it does give you a little bit of arch and lift up, which is nice. Okay? So it's not just completely flat. So all in all, phenomenal shoe. I'm going to wear it. It seems to fit true to size. I'm a size 12. Oftentimes I'll get a 12.5. One of the other things I forgot to tell you that I love is this does not go in too fast. It's not on too much of an angle. One of the Skechers shoes has too much of an angle and it actually started hurting my toe. So you almost needed to buy an extra size up, but this is a size 12. And so far it seems to be pretty good. It actually kind of is a little bit more straighter, not kind of a triangle type wedge. So phenomenal shoe. I'd like to congratulate New Balance. We'll see how it does. Like I said, it is. So all of those are perks. Maybe a little bit of a drawback is maybe it's a little bit heavier, but I can't really say that that's a bad thing because your sole is going to be phenomenal. I do want to see how the tongue, if it stays in place or if they do need to add a double loop. The last thing I'll say is their laces. Great job on the laces. They're a thicker lace. They hold in place better than, for example, like a Skechers lace, junk laces. And again, I have a couple of Skechers shoes, but again, I've just been testing them out on my own to find out what are the absolute best pickleball shoes. And so we'll see how it does. I'll take it out on the court and then I'll give you kind of more of a review and we'll start using it and see how it does. But as far as I know at this point, definitely a great double shoe. As far as a single shoe, I'll have to check. It seems like it'll probably work, especially where it has this nice support here for when you really plant hard. But we'll see. We'll see if it's too heavy, sluggish, but I think it's going to be an amazing singles pickleball shoe as well. You want something that really fits nice, not too sloppy, and this shoe feels pretty good. So we'll test it out, and then I'll give you kind of an updated review. Thanks so much. Remember this too, to live in wholeness every day. We'll see you on the next video.